and mission for their respective They require a certain charisma. That's some of your leaders and stuff. And mission from their respective obsessions, but ultimately their quest is futile. They cannot get beyond their own inflated egos and fears and desires. And the real thing is anonymous to the real thing. So they can't get past that barrier of their ego to the real thing, which is anonymous, which is formless, yet fantastic, and the power source of all self. So they can't get to the other gateway. We're trying to tell you to undo yourself, but in order to undo yourself, you must become like the ancient man. Humble, that's the key. And once you become humble, what happens is this. All stuff is lifted. You free now. You don't have to put on no front for nobody. You don't have to do nothing for nobody. If you want to wear some damn holy drawers, you can wear some holy drawers. If the damn house falling down, it's falling down. You don't have to impress nobody, because what's happening here is you're free now. So the things that used to doggone bombard you that you needed to put on this show, that's the vanity. You don't need it no more. And for the mere fact that you have become humble, you don't give a doggone what people think about you, because you know that those people are dead. They're stuck in the physical. So therefore you will look on them as victims. You understand? Other than looking on them of objects or what you were trying to doggone impress. Check? Okay. There are perhaps two things that one can invoke the higher self. Or in Hemmitt it is called the Kia. K-A-K-I-A, Kia. Firstly, the ego can be put into place by absolutely seeking the union with things with anything that one has rejected. Which means this: you got to throw out all dogma, or some stuff that the same stuff that you talk junk about. You got to understand the duality of things. And when you go to one dichotomy, you're just as bad as the one you left from. You understand the concept of what I'm talking about? You got to ease up. You see what I'm saying? And let go of this particular stuff that will inflate your ego. Okay? Now, the other thing is accept the diversity of all things and the series that these things and a series of things possible. Not talking about white people, because that's an illusion. They don't exist. We're talking about a combination of what you would call contradictions. Contradictions are everything. And when I get into this particular stuff with sex tantrum and different things, you're going to understand exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to this particular stuff. You see, and I got some real pictures to show you some things on what to do and how to do these particular things. You see, so now, you want to look. So now we're talking about chaos. What is chaos? Chaos is the things which change is supreme. It says, the unorganized state of primordial matter before creation. A confused state of mass. Chaos is good. Chaos is the primal source of all, which is talking about the black chaos. In the beginning there was chaos. In the beginning there was blackness. It is not anarchy, it's chaos. Which it means that the fall of this society, the black people killing each other, the black people going crazy, is positive. Since you don't die, those people who kill themselves only get exited from what you're going to get exit from sooner. They're waiting on you. Some people say, well, I don't know, brother. I don't know if other people going to make it. I look at all these crazy people out here. That's the first thing the doggone nationalists or the conscious person say. The first thing you want to say is they don't want to make it. Because everybody wants to achieve personally, and you don't want other people to really do it. So when you say they ain't gonna make it, you're not really sincere to be crying about it. You really saying this particular thing and say, I got mine, I'm on the ship. But you don't realize one thing. The person that's dead is the first one to go. Hell, if the person wasn't dead, there wouldn't be no reason for nothing to come and clean it up. So therefore, what you call chaos and the destruction of society is actually good. So it's not anarchy, it's chaos. In the beginning there was only chaos. the agents of chaos cast the burning glances at anything capable of bearing witness to their creation. One must have chaos or melanin in one to give birth to a dancing star. That's the black sun. You understand? Now this comes from the white boy. Matter is illusion. This is an illusion, this matter here. Solidity is an illusion. We are all illusions. Only chaos is real. Only the black sun inside of you is real. But you stuck on this physical body. The only thing that's real is the spirit inside. The Bible told you the same thing. It's just so messed up and discombobulated until you really don't understand the true gnosis, which means knowing. You see. The limitless heaven shines a continuous chaos. You see what I'm saying? A particular the limitless chaos. So it's talking about this particular black substance. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to go into some even deeper stuff, because I got some good pictures I want to show you all, and we're going to get down with some stuff. Check. All right. We're going to do a couple of approaches here tonight. Let's see what we're going to do. I'm going to roll through a series of things on this acetate, and I can explain stuff that way. I don't want to get too analytical. This is a realm, this is a realm of where you came from and where you're going. At first you was into the shamanistic, which means the Godhead, and you was functioning on a spiritual level. Then you went to the religious. Now the pagan doesn't, shamanistic, which is, if you went to the pagan, that is not talking about anything negative. That's talking about a spiritual realm that came out of Egypt, which pagan only means the people, black people. People say, oh, that's a pagan religion. They never look up the word pagan. It only means the people. And the people who was talking about it was talking about them black people over there. Didn't have nothing to do with nothing negative. Hell, the most negative is the monotheistic, because it shut down the spiritual aspect, whereas you could not manifest your spirituality. Whereas most people it was dealing with monotheistic, or what you would call religiosity or fundamentalism, when they had spiritual people in their family, they would start shutting them down. Oh, you going crazy, you got demons on you and all that old crazy stuff. Now what had happened was this. During the time of the Hebrew priests, after they left out of the mystery system, they had lost a certain amount of the gnosis, which means knowing. Gnosis, which means knowing. They had lost some of the gnosis of the stuff of the mystery system. So they had certain rituals in Hebrewism, like your Kabbalah. So as a result, they had to cut out rituals, because they understood that they knew that black people was God, and these were black people. Some of this stuff happened with us growing into a lower ego. So they knew that our people, once they got into their spiritual self, they could tap into a higher source and learn some spiritual things, and could have one over the priest with the big ego. He couldn't run it if this person has a higher knowledge than him. So they had to cut out the actual ritual. So therefore, that's where you get all this stuff about pray to God, and everything is so doggone dogmatic and so doggone, you understand, praying and doing stuff. Whereas I went to a church and they was talking about how Jesus came to save a wretch like me. You understand this stuff, then you understand how your spirituality comes down. That's called slave religion. Then the white boy comes on. He's the atheist, because he don't believe in nothing, but he's a nihilist, but he's a rationalist, which is based on science. That's left brain. So he has nothing to do with spirituality whatsoever. But on the other hand, there was a few people in the lodge that understood our original stuff. They was practicing the spiritual stuff, even though they can only do so much with it, because they don't have the ultimate black dot to carry it out. You see what I'm saying? Because it's talking about inwardly. Then you had what is called pan-demon, which is the chaos sphere which you're going back in. And that's the original form that you was in before you came to the planet and you were a god. Pan is the Greek god Pan. The Greek god Pan is what the Christians use for the symbol of Satan. Now, because see, a lot of you people is in the spookism. First of all, when you get in Afrocentricity, you learn there ain't no devil. You know, you learn there ain't no devil. Then all of a doggone sudden, when you start going high up in the spirituality, they start getting into things that you thinking is kind of scary. So the first damn thing you do is you double back. You see, because you're afraid to face the real deal stuff, and we're going to get into that today. Pan-demon. First of all, this is a real picture of how your spirit looks on the inside. This is the real spirit. You worried about this little messed up body. This is the real spirit. This is called Black Kundalini. Two trans-Ugapian gods of magic. Trans-Ugapian gods of magic. That's how you look on the inside. This is coming from England, drawing the Black Kundalini, because a lot of your occult experiences, they deal with that particular stuff. And they try to, so they know that the soul and the spirit is black. So ain't no way in hell you can be white. You see what I'm saying? And talk all that bullshit. This is how the spirit looks. And the white indicates, even though you can be white, bright, and damn near light, you still have the black dot and have this on the inside. But it's only 20% of white people that have this, because they're not mutants, they are black people. And somewhere down in that doggone the realm of genetics, something happened as far as race mixing. But they still have the black dot. One drop of black blood and you black. Now on the other hand, you have a mutant, which is based on genetic engineering. They don't have this particular soul. They only have lower energy. You understand what I'm saying? Now, Pan is called the Sabbatic ghost, Sabbath, the Sabbath day. Now, it's interesting about this particular picture, and this is where we get into some real deal stuff here. It's interesting about this picture. Let me get some couple of things I want to show you here. Y'all bear with me. This is the Greek god Pan. Now, anytime you see something that looks hideous, it's metaphysical. It's not talking about literally. They use mythology when the stuff was more powerful. When the energy was more powerful, they used the hideous symbols to indicate energy. You misconstrued this for being evil. You catch the trip what I'm talking about? Now, the horns come from the goddess Hathor. It also comes from the god Ammon. You see the horns on Ammon? Same horns that they took and they changed, the Greeks turned it into the god Pan, which means the all in all. What it says? The beings who live below say that God is on high, while the angels in heaven say that God is on earth. They're praying to you because you the real deal. You see what I'm saying? When the spirits say, don't ask us, demand us to help you. Just take control of your doggone universe. Demand, say, I demand you to help me, but don't be asking for no material shit. They ain't gonna do that. That's illusion. Ask for spiritual stuff and you will gain it. Demand it. Don't be asking for no material thing, a new car and all that old stuff the cracker invent. That's illusion. We're going to get into the illusion in a few minutes. Now, this comes to Greek and becomes the Greek god Pan. Now, the Greek god Pan has the horns. You know this is the symbol of Satan. The word Sut, which means black, and On, which is Anubis. Anpu. Sut On, which means the black opening. The black dot. It's called Hadit. The black point. The black dot. Sut On, which means melon, which means Satan, which means opener, light bringer. Metaphysically, the Kabbalah tells you that that devil is a spook devil. They said the devil that we're talking about in Kabbalah, which is the precursor to the Bible, which the Bible came out, is that particular part that neutralizes and humbles you by neutralizing your lower self to bring you to the higher self. As you see, it has the Kundalini in the middle, which means the black dot. As you see, it's called Pan, the all-begetter, the all-in-all. You see the sun? You got Allah. The sun, you see the star in the middle of the head. The star in the crescent. The all-in-all. This is an ancient symbol of one of the most ancient gods. But when you see the hideous thing, you thinking it's some spooked out devil stuff and it's indicating energy. These are things that you must get into and quit thinking literal. That's how the white boy runs you. Because you are spooked up into what is called fundamentalism, where you got literal stories. They're talking about metaphysics or esoteric, that which is hidden. The star in the pentagram, you say, oh, that's the devil star. See, the white people be wearing. That's the damn black dot. They wearing that instead of trying to get some energy because they don't have the black dot. The pentagram. You see that thing that's coming out of the top of the head is the spirit. Is the spirit. Down here you see the black moon. The black moon and the white moon is the yin and the yang. Is the yin and the yang symbol. This is the yin and the yang. Now also in the core of the sun, the core of the earth, is the black dot. And this black dot is getting ready to be ignited. Right here is the yin and the yang symbol. Now what the white boy has done is this. He understood that you knew the day side, which is Christ. Christ, Christ, Christ. Mark the Messiah. But he understood the ancient mystery is you putting the cart before the horse. You putting the cart before the horse. And what it means is this. The black side is the power in which the spirit white side is coming from.